Everyone, Alex and Gio from Radd Time.
Yo!
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 Yo, yo! Alright, so we're here today and we're looking at the XM Studios Lizard. This piece is a piece I picked up and super impressed with it. We've been putting off the review because I didn't want to move it. I had it in a perfect position and we got to the day where it's got to be done. So we're doing the review today. We're going to weigh it, we're going to measure it, and a lot of requests. So weigh it, measure it, and go over it the way we do. So keep watching, guys.
Yo, so like Alex was saying, we're going to be reviewing the XM Studios Lizard. Now, Alex picked up this piece for a while, like he was saying. It's never had any urgency to do the review because we both, and him especially, love this piece. So it would never go anywhere, and you know, it's always one of them ones you just leave and you're like, yeah, I'm never selling that, so we'll do it when we've got nothing to do. But we're always having something to do.
The trade was a bit of a long-winded kind of trade.
Affair.
Yeah. From the beginning,
go.
Take a deep breath. So we were at James Wallace's house. We were doing a review on the Gambit by Danny Hines.
Yep.
We were doing the review of that, and it was Mike Wells's piece. So we're going over it. Mike Wells was trying to sell it, so he's talking about selling it to James. And
you jumped in front of him, stole it.
I jumped in and I said to him, I knew he wanted the He-Man and Battle Cat by Pop Culture Shock. So I jokingly said, I'll trade you for that. Mike said, yeah, I'm interested, so we did the trade.
Pretty fast.
Pretty
Upset
fast.
James Wallace, no end.
Yeah, he did. He didn't talk to me for about 2 weeks. But so then we got the Gambit in, and I had it in my collection for a little while. It
Didn't have the longevity though, did it?
It's one of those pieces where you see it, it really looks great, and then over time, it does the opposite of growing.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of like
it
shrinks on you.
Yeah, it does shrink on you.
You just
it totally does. You're 100% right.
You notice the flaws more when you first see it. You got this like wow factor to it, with all the wisps and things going all over the place.
Yeah, true.
And then after a while, for me, it was like the head's too small, the legs are too long, the torso's.
It does happen. It does happen.
And that's probably one of the pieces it happened to be the most on. So I needed to get rid of it, and I wanted to sell it on. What's his name? Steve Bunn basically was
nice guy to deal with.
Looking for one.
He's a good guy.
I got in touch with him, and we were doing a little bit of back and forward on a deal. He said to me, "I'll trade you Lizard and Vulture XM for it," and I was like,
"Okay,
holy shit, George, we need to go for a drive now."
That was quite. That was like 6 hours of driving that day.
No, about 4.
So
we traded it for that, and in all honesty, I hope Steve's not watching because I probably would have just traded it for this.
Yeah,
the Vulture was just a bonus.
Nice piece though.
The Vulture actually came in and was probably better executed than this.
Yes,
that's another story for another day.
Yes.
So anywho, I got the piece in. It's been in my collection since, and I absolutely love it. And
now getting onto the character thing after all that waffle, Curtis Connors, one of the Doctor. Yeah, shit, he'd be pissed if he missed that out all them years of training. Curtis Connors, the Lizard himself is actually...
Geneticist?
Yeah, he is, yeah. Rated 62nd of IGN's top 100 greatest comic villains of all time, which I think is really great. First appearance is in Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man number 6. Now, we all know that he was created, well, you may not know, but we know, that he was created by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, the same guy from, again, Electro and some of the other members of the Sinister Six. Now, the powers of this guy is actually quite interesting. What he can do is not only when he's in this lizard form has he got the same reflexes, speed, strength as Spider-Man, so he can match him, but he also has a unique thing no one's ever really mentioned before. He has this unique power. He can control any reptile within a mile radius of him. So any crocodiles, anything like that, anything dangerous, he can control. Yeah. And he also can make human beings turn on each other.
Him, yeah.
No, he has a pheromone that comes out of his skin that makes people refer to their lizard brain, which is Neanderthal level brain. So you end up just killing each other.
I know he controlled lizards, but
it's really cool. And he obviously can climb buildings and all that sort of stuff. So really, actually, pretty badass character.
I didn't know he's as strong as Spider-Man because Spider-Man always kicks his ass. So
he is as strong and he's as fast, and also he has the ability to regenerate limbs.
Yeah.
And also he is immune to knives and even low caliber gunfire.
Yeah.
So you know pretty much you need like a high powered rifle or something to penetrate his skin. So he's pretty indestructible, really. He's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Onto the statue itself. We'll start on the base and we'll go from there.
Well, this is edition size of 500, just to point that out.
Low end.
What we're going to do before we go onto the base, so we're going to go onto the print. It's actually one of the nicer ones.
Still a bit dark though.
It's a bit dark, but hopefully you can see that on there. We'll get a picture of it as well.
Actually that dark.
And it's not that dark at all, which is good shit.
It's a little bit.
And I actually, out of all the ones, this is one of my favourite ones. Only problem is it's got the classic head on there.
And you like
and
that.
I do love the modern head. We've started with the classic head here. So what we do?
Well, we're curving in. We start at the bad point and we'll get on.
Well, it's
It's not a bad portrait, but it's nowhere near as good as the modern.
What was a crow or something? Yeah. So you start off on the base. You've got this kind of like big sort of rusted sort of circle there, and then you got these sort of steel girders here as well. Some really strong magnets.
You pull that out and stab an intruder with that.
Yeah, and then you got the kind of like the drain cover at the back. You got the pipes here, and you got this kind of like, I don't know what this is, some kind of metal wooden thing going on in the middle there. One of the kind of points that people point out that they don't really like is they don't like the kind of water effect here. It's a bit dusty, but they don't like the water effect here. I don't really think there's an issue of it. It's kind of like a.
It could be done better.
It could be done better. But
you could
like
have translucent
sludge.
resin and all that sort of shit. You could have it more watered than coloured. But the one thing they have managed to do, which is a good thing, is the water obviously is going to be muddy and greeny and horrible, and they need to try and get it so it's not this colour.
Yeah.
And they've done that.
Well, there's a difference there. The only one I don't like is I don't like the
joint
that's attached to you.
Yes.
That's the only part I don't like.
And you would have thought that comes separate or something, but it doesn't. It's all connected.
Yeah, yeah.
You would have thought that just slots in and then that sits on the top, but it doesn't.
Maybe they had that intention before. But
Nice thing on the grate as well. There's one on the back foot you can see here. There's a really nice grate that goes across the bottom where there's a water effect that's going on.
I was going to say you've got this kind of like splash water effect, which actually looks like
it looks
like when I try to glue things.
Yeah.
And I get the glue all over the place. That's kind of what it does look like.
It's funny as well because there's actually sort of like almost a running water effect on the base. This is like a big bulge here where it looks like it's moving, which is a nice touch. And then when you start getting onto the figure, I mean, the one thing you can say, if you want to be critical, overly critical, you could say that there could be a little bit of differentiating colours in these parts. Just a little bit of a difference, because the pipe's the same colour as the base.
Someone was referring to it and said it looked like bits of chocolate, but I don't think it does.
Yeah, that was our mate, wasn't it? That cool dude who goes to the steampunk thing with the glasses.
Oh,
I love that guy.
Zappa.
Steve, yeah, him.
Top Banana.
Yeah, Top Banana dude. He said that, and in fairness, I was like, does it look like chocolate? That's like cool, but yeah, he's a cool guy. So we let that one pass. The thing is, as well, you get onto like the figure, and the figure is fucking exceptional. I mean,
well, start with the feet.
I mean,
claws.
It's just amazing. The figure, the sculpt work, the texture in. The details, they're all. I mean, his heel, the top of his foot, the back of his calf. It's all different type of textures, which is just not half-assed. It's really, really nice. He's got this bubbling effect going on in certain areas, like on the top of his feet, on his knees, on the outside of his palms. I think that's just genius, the way that they've managed to do that.
And then you've got the kind of black kind of claws on the feet.
And it's sharp as fuck.
And they are really sharp.
Oh, careful.
I mean, they are, if you kind of like, if you catch them on something, they are pretty sharp. The thing that was a pain in the arse with this is when we set this up to get the tail on there.
Oh. The ideal thing to do, actually, is to turn it upside down. Don't put it on the base and try and worm away. It's very difficult. Turn the piece upside down, stick the tail, like somebody else stick the tail in, and then try and work it into the base, because you've got these 2 points that join here, but the way the tail comes around and sort of just misses this, you have to be very careful.
Yeah, we tried to do it.
You need eyes everywhere, really, on this piece when you're putting it
We tried to do the way the instructions tell you, and to kind of get it on, you constantly rub it against here, you're constantly rubbing against the coat at the back. It actually pretty much touches the coat at the back.
It does, yeah.
And you're going to get scuffs on the back of the coat.
It's impossible.
It's just not, it's just something that's not, you're not going to do. You're not going to do.
You're incapable of getting that in there without scratching it or taking it out. You're gonna knock it. The great thing about that tail, the tail's massive, and the great thing about it is the outside of it. So you've got the spines on the outside of the tail, like the vertebrae, and then underneath you've got this almost smooth sort of, you get what I mean. It's
like the
underbelly of the lizard, which is just really, really nice. And when you're looking at it, sort of, your eyes are getting drawn everywhere because you've got all these different textures happening all at once.
And then again, you've got the kind of ripped up trousers and the ripped up shirt underneath. And again, there's like great texturing on there. I think on a lot of pictures, he's got his kind of purple Hulk trousers. I mean, clearly Bruce Banner and Kurt Connors shop at the same store.
Yeah, they go to the same place.
But on the trousers can look very, very similar. They are totally different colours, and the texturing is different as well.
Oh yeah, they're different colours. Yeah,
there is that.
And it's nice. Got little buttons on the crotch, so you can go for a wee. Get his lizard slung out.
Yeah, and then you go up to the kind of the abdomen and the stomach part.
I think that's some of my favourite part of the body stuff there.
The sculpt on the chest is really, really well done, and going on to the abdomen. That area there is probably the best sculpted part of it. I think it's just really nice detail, really, really well done. We'll then go on to George's least favourite part.
No, I mean, you've got also, you can just see from that, just the size. I mean, it really, in person, the one thing about this piece that shocks me, and I'm around it all the time, but every time I come into your room, every time I walk in, it shocks the fuck out of me. Just the sheer size of it. I mean, it's just massive. Against it really is quite an impressive.
I think it's one of those things as well that's misleading when you have a lot of debates going on the forums and on the groups. What people will do is they'll say, well, the piece is 20 inches tall. Is that it? The piece is 20 inches tall and it's X amount of dollars. Why is a 20 inch piece that when, then they'll compare it to another piece which is 20 inches tall. But the footprint of it and the thickness of the character, that's what they don't then. I mean,
it took two of us to get it out round Alex's display to get it through the door
without bashing
it somewhere. It's a monsterish piece.
Go on to the coat then.
The weak point about this piece, the weakest point, and these little things that we talk about on the base, they're really, really petty.
They're just the point things.
They're petty as shit. You'd have to be really, really fussy to have an issue, really. The thing that bothers me about this piece is the coat. I think the coat is too thick.
Yeah.
I think it's polystone. I can feel it. It's freezing cold. It's thick. It is polystone, 100%, and it's heavy. Like the whole thing is really heavy. Like the figure is seriously heavy. But I think it's too thick casted. It almost looks like icing from a cake. This is almost a centimetre or two thick. The way that they did the Black Panther, the way that they've done the Beta Ray Bill, the way that they've managed to do the capes recently using a more reinforced, it's not PVC, but it's a different type of plastic style, definitely is a big improvement. But you can see, this is just, it's insane. Look at that, that's like that thick.
Yeah, well, the thickest part I think is here.
Yeah, it's
that's probably about, that must be about just shy of a centimetre.
I think the detailing on it, the stitching and the lines for the marks and the scuffs, they're quite poor, in my opinion. I think this cape, this jacket could be thinner and better shaded and more details put into it. This thing that goes around the inside here of that, it is actually alarmingly poor for XM. For their standards, I think that this is a bit of a miss.
I think though with those kind of jackets, there are a lot of texture on them though.
They're smooth. I get it, but you do know that when you look at them, they've got like they've got like a grain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think that you could break it up. This pocket.
Or even it does look. I was just saying, even with the pockets, you could have the pockets slightly opened.
Slightly opened, more creases, more shading.
Like, where there are rips on there, he's been wearing it during a battle, so you can have more dirt. It does look like cake icing. It looks like, what's that stuff that you put over? The marzipan, exactly that. Yeah, it's just a bit thick and a little bit, and even the fondant. It's fondant. That's what it is. But yeah, even the sides here in the back around the neck, it's all thick. It's all very chunky, and I think it's quite poor. I wouldn't expect it from XM really. They're better than this. This is not. Then again, I think when you then have it up on display, and and it's not under these like unforgiving lights, I think that then when you have it in that way, I think it does look great, and I don't think it's that much of an issue. But again,
if you have it head on like this, where the camera can see it, I don't think it's as big as a problem because the coat flares sort of out.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from the side there and you look at it from the back, especially, it's very bad. And I mean, even there, I mean this whole line here you can see here is just too much.
Yeah.
They could do that better. If this was done today, the way that now, I think they would have used a different type of thing over the top. There will be a reason, because they always have a reason that it looks like that. I just think it's the only flaw on this piece that I consider, because the base doesn't, the colours of the base and the metal thing, I actually really like the contrast, and I really love the body, and I really love the nails, claws, the whole thing I think is exceptional. Even to the point where if I was to score this, I really would give it almost like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. That's how good I rate it. It's just, this is a big problem for me. Not that I wouldn't own it, there's enough for me not to buy it, it's just, it bothers me because I know there's better ways to do it.
Sure. And then you move on to the head. So this is the classic head. This is the one, personally, I would never really display. I do like it, I don't think there's an issue with it.
Got bigger, thicker scales in it, big scales.
Yeah, it's got the bigger scales, the eyes look great, the tongue coming out looks great.
Fantastic.
It is really, really well done, but the only issue is I think that the modern head fits better.
I agree.
So what we do is, so this is the classic one, so we just take it off. Magnets are really strong, they weigh quite a lot. Great sort of detailing on the kind of side of the mouth there as well.
Yeah.
Great detail, the kind of top of the roof of the mouth.
Yeah, really nice.
There's
no stone.
This I think is done. It is done really, really well. There's not an issue with the execution, but preference-wise to me, I think the modern head just annihilates it. I think the modern head, the scaling on the body matches better to the scaling on this head. This is more like a kind of like a T-Rex look to it.
It is, yeah. It's definitely more, and it's also, I think, why it's so spectacular as well is that the teeth are, you have that sort of, different style of teeth where the bottom ones are more like pins and spikes, and then you've got the bigger ones, and you can see sort of canines almost like big, like a crocodile, where if you look at a crocodile from a side angle, the teeth sort of, they've got a few big ones in with some small ones and some big ones.
These
and
ones are
some small
more
ones.
defined. On the modern head.
Yeah.
These ones are more solid.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
This looks a little bit more like a cartoon, I think. I think there's a realistic element to this. And I really love the spines running down here, down the back of the neck, the sort of like flaps. I think it's really... And what's really interesting is that the tongue doesn't come out like the venom. It's not separate. We always would have thought that, wouldn't you? That you just clip it in, but it doesn't. It comes like that.
I think the head joints could be better.
I think it's an angle thing though, again. I mean, as how I'm looking at it, it's like the coat. It doesn't look great from there, but when I look
straight on
there's nothing. There's nothing. There's no, I mean, if you look head on there, you can't spot a joint for love nor money.
Yeah, but then as soon as you go like that, which I'm never going to have it.
If you have it side on like this, there is a little bit here. But it's done very, very well. I mean, I think this is a really exceptional piece, to be honest.
I'm happy. I'm really, really happy.
I didn't expect,
it was one of those pieces.
We didn't expect it to be this good, did we?
Well, it was one of those pieces where it was just the deal came up and it worked out really nicely for me. And then I got the piece and I realised I've actually got a Spider-Man collection. So
it is one
of the centerpieces on my Spider-Man collection. I really do like it.
People have said that that this is as if not good or better than the Cable or Venom. Do you agree with that statement? As if you own both of those pieces, as do I.
The problem I have there is, I mean, I'm always going to be biased with that because I've got great character appreciation for Venom and Cable. They're two of my favourite characters. Lizards. The problem.
Yeah, but you can separate that for execution wise. How do you think? I don't think it's close personally, but I mean, I hold them up quite high.
With the Venom, I think the XM Venom is a great piece and I love it, but I don't think it's executed as good as it could be in parts. I think even Cable could be a lot better. I think elements of this are better, elements are not. I mean, and again, I mean, it is hard because of the character appreciation. I mean, you've always got to remember that Lizard is going to be a B-list character. It's the same as, I mean, the unfortunate thing was with Vulture. The Vulture is executed amazingly. It's probably one of XM's best executed pieces.
Great.
But it's a C-list character, and it's just like
It's massive.
it's too big to
Massive.
put anywhere. It's got an 85 centimeter wingspan, and due to the sheer size, I couldn't keep it. I can't justify that kind of.
You can't give it that real estate.
For that kind of character. But this fits perfectly in the space I have. I really, really like the way it looks. I got around that question quite quickly. I avoided it.
Yeah, you did well, but that's it. That's your fencing.
But I don't know. I mean, in all honesty, because of Venom and Cable are my kind of characters that I really, really like, I would still go for those. But
you can see why people try and put them in the same
I
conversation.
do.
It's
But
a very good
then,
piece.
you know, when you look at Cable, there's not anything wrong with it anywhere as such.
No, cables.
I mean, there are bits where the gun could be painted better or the arm could be painted better, but overall, it's a very, very strong piece. This one, with the coat being a problem, that loses quite a bit of marks because that's quite a lot of the piece. Is the coat. Was that better?
Yeah, I like that. I know how hard that was. Man. That was tough. So I'll give you that. I mean,
lean down and get the tape measure.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So what we'll do is the usual business. We'll tape measure and scale.
So we'll quickly run through the measurements and footprint. Let's start off with the height, which is to the top of the head, I would say, is around 19 inches, which is 49 centimeters.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that the tail comes right out. So
tail to the hands.
Oh shit! Yeah. Christ. All right, let me do that. It's the best way. Jesus. That's about 23 inches wide. That's about there, isn't it? 22 and a half, I'll say 57 centimeters.
Yeah, it takes on most of the my cube. Yeah.
All right, and then if you're going depth,
It's this thing.
yeah, I can't do it from there. You have to do it like that. You take it, and when you get to the end, tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you have. I would say that's 21 inches, which is 53, 54 centimeters. So it's pretty much.
Yeah, when you angle it, it will fit into the Shruva perfectly, and that's 50-inch external.
50 centimeters?
Sorry, 50 centimeters external, and it fits in there like perfectly.
Yeah,
like
but this you do the depth that comes out the top. This comes out, doesn't it?
No, it would fit.
Oh, right.
The way I've angled it, that goes angled in a bit.
Yeah.
So it fits. It does fit in the Shruva.
I didn't notice anything sort of out.
No, it doesn't. Because I literally my original.
The thing is, as well, you can actually. I was
actually going to leave this off, and then I realised that I turned it and it.
Because you could take this off and sort of just like leave it, like cover that gap up, and just leave it so it's not like that.
Yeah, can put it back now.
Yeah. Does that bother you?
Oh shit. That's the most stupid fucking idea I've ever heard from you. What are you doing?
I don't know. This goes in there.
Fuck's sake, George.
There you go. It has to go in the exact way. What am I doing?
There you go.
That's wrong. It's not. There you go. See, it only goes in one way.
It went in. Alright?
Yeah.
What we do then is, if you want to turn that on, I think I've ran it. Working with fucking amateurs. Yeah?
Yeah, 0. It's on kg, you're alright. What's your guess?
It's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to say
Like
16.
squatting weight.
15?
I'm going to say 13, 14 kilo, 14, 13, 13. 13. I think it's squatty weight, I think it's deceptive. Oh, 16 kilos, a beast!
What did I say first?
I think you said about 15, 16. I think you said 16.
Yeah, 16 dead.
16 kilos.
I've never
man.
weighed this, by the way.
Shit, that's well heavy. That's really heavy.
Yeah.
I think we've only had
the unit.
35 pounds.
35.3 pounds.
My
So
Hulk, Aaron Ray Perez's Hulk is like 42 pounds. It's the heaviest thing I think we've weighed in quarter scale. But this is the heaviest XM piece I think we've weighed.
I might have to review the shelf that this is on. I'm going to wake up one night.
35.3. That is so heavy.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought Mysterio was heavy, but that's really heavy.
It is heavy.
See, you know, because it's quite like that, you think it's the
same
weight.
with the Hulk we just weighed, the other Hulk, and it's because it's on a big round base, you can pick it up easily. There's no like tipping all over the place.
Yeah, it's well balanced. The weight wise, it's really well balanced. Anyway, let us know what you think about it, man. Yeah, if you've got it, and where do you think it rates? You think Cable and Venom are ahead? I mean, what do you reckon? Where does it come with the XM pieces? I mean, for me, I think the Spider-Verse line from XM is one of their strongest lines. I think the stuff is really, really high end.
Definitely.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And thanks for all your support this year.
Sharing is caring.
Indeed. You know, we've done. We're glad to take you on this journey with us. So thanks, much love, peace.
Doing the kind of priority pieces. This was never going to leave the collection, so.
So fucking hell, was that fucking ghost in your house, eh?
Some fucking dead Italian guy who died. Luigi, whatever his name is. Alright, let's go then. Fucking shit the light on me.